Hi, my name is James Orvis, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a brand new preset pack that we've just released called Pulse. Now, I wasn't involved at all in the making of this preset pack, so this preset pack is quite fresh to my ears. It's only today that I've just really sat down with it and looked through all the different presets and played around with them, and I'm absolutely blown away by not only just the sound design, but the depth of the sounds and how you can tweak them using the macros and stuff as well is brilliant. And the mod wheel, so with every preset you've got 5 parameters which you can modulate, and then that's really easy to modulate within an arrangement. You can draw in the automation or play it on like a MIDI controller, and the sounds are just so expressive and very inspiring. Like, I already want to start making music with this pack. Now, another really big selling point to this pack for me is the fact that it's not just a preset pack, it's actually kind of an expansion pack for Serum as well. So if I just quickly show you what I mean by that. So if you go into the oscillator bank, so when you go into the wavetable and you can choose, like you can go in analog and choose a waveform. Well, what Audiotent have done is they've added their own folder, so it's AT Pulse. And if you go in there, you've got all of these different waveforms taken from some really, really cool, iconic modules and synths. So I've got like the DFAM and the Mother 32 in there. You can get like plats and rings, all of these different modules. So what's really cool about this as well is if you open up one of the waveforms, like I've got this one open at the minute, 2HP VCO, PWM, and you move the wavetable position, you get this. So you're able to change the shape of the wavetable, usually like the pulse width settings and things like that. These have been recorded in from the modules, so basically it's like a really, really good representation of what would happen if you turned that on the module itself. Now, what I've heard from the Audiotent guys is they've A/B tested this and played it back and turned it on one side along with the synth, and the difference is really hard to tell. So I love the fact that you're getting all of these oscillators from the modules and the synths and things like that in Serum, and it's giving Serum like a new lease of life. So if you've had this VST for a while, you're going to love this because you're going to be able to like just inject something new into the synth. It's already a great synth, but this just adds so much more to it. So yeah, let's flick through a couple of these first. So you'll notice in the presets as well, a lot of the time, these wavetable positions get modulated. And what's really cool about this, that I like, is that you're able to mix and match these. So you could have like a Mother 32 oscillator on this side, and then you could go to oscillator B and bring in an oscillator. So you might bring in like the Platts modal, and you can combine them. And you can also send FM from one to the other as well. So I could bring in FM from B. So you're able to come up with these like really unique combinations which you wouldn't have been able to access before with just the Serum waveforms. These is like a completely new sound that you can get from these. And then if you go into noise, so I mean, don't get me wrong, you could get really cool unique sounds anyway with Serum. It is a powerful synth, but this just adds that extra touch. And if you go to noise and go into AT Pulse, again we've got some noise ones in here. So these aren't all just noise, like they're like little extra synth layers that you can add on top of the 2 oscillators. So it can give you 3 oscillators in a way, or you can add some dirty overlays to the sound as well. So like, for instance, where is it on here? If you go to not electricity, I can't find it now. There's one in here that's like really cool. I'll tell you what, we'll just flick through a few of them. Well, that one, for instance, so you can add a bit of grit to the top end. It was this one, the mains one, so it sounds like broken kind of electricity sound. So there's some nice transient stuff in there as well. Some modulated stuff, some synthy type stuff, and like I said, some like organic textures to put over the top of your synth sounds. So that's really useful. So yeah, you get that just from the off, and you can create new patches and you can start to play around with those without even touching the presets. So I feel like that gives the pack so much value already before we've even dived into the sound presets. So if you go into the presets, you've got all of these presets in here. So we've got tons of bass sounds, chords, effects, leads, pads, rhythmic, and sequences as well, which I really, really do like a lot. I like all of the sounds. I've been through them all, but I can only show you so many, so I'm just going to show you 2 from each. So I've kind of shortlisted a couple that I like from each. And let's just go through a few of them, and I'll play around with the sounds and show you what you can do with the macros and the mod wheel as well. So the first one we're going to go to is Driver, so a bass sound. Really nice kind of techno sound there where you can open it up and get really expressive with it. But that's what I like about a lot of these sounds, is that you can create a lot of tension and moments with them as well. Let's have a look at another one. So we've got another bass sound, Sustain. That's really nice thick bass sound there. Excuse my dodgy keyboard playing. I was going to put together some MIDI clips for these, but I thought it might be nice to just kind of jam it out on the keyboard with the mod wheel as well. Let's have a look at some chords now. So Heat is pretty cool. I like this. With this one, I really like the tails. So if you bring this up, it brings some effects on the end, like delays. Love that, it's really nice. Well, let's see what the mod wheel does. So in a lot of patches, the mod wheel acts as a really good kind of a moment that you would use on a little mini break or a big break. You can kind of open this up. And then sometimes you get like options to change the timbre of the sound as well. Add some drive there as well. So you can really change the shaping of the sound. So when you're presented with the initial preset, you don't have to stick with that. You can tweak these so you get something that fits your track. Let's have a look at another one. So we've got this one as well, Iron. Oh yeah, this was a big standout one for me, this actually. I really like anything that's got that kind of Bodzin-esque touch to it, and this is like Bodzin 2.0 for me, because it's like that kind of glidey, moogie sound, but then it's just more up front and more vicious in a way. So check this out, I really love this one. Not even funny, but that's definitely getting used in a track soon. I love that. That's brilliant. And again, you've got all of this shaping capabilities and adding effects and noise to the sound, and like bringing in a different timbre and stuff like that. You're able to kind of really shape the sound and add some movement to it as well. So I really like that. Let's go and have a look at, so that was chords, wasn't it? That's kind of like a bass sound to me as well. So I mean, it's quite thick because you've got a chord structure going on. So you've got like a seventh and a third there, or a fifth, whichever way you want to look at it. But you're able to kind of it's stacking those oscillators. So I suppose it is a chord, but for me it also feels like it could be a bass as well. And I find that with a lot of these presets, you can use them for either. Like there's some lead sounds later that I'm going to show you which could definitely be used as a bass as well. Let's look at some effects. So I've got this one, Capacitor. Really like that one. It's really interesting. It could be a good layer for a track, that one. And let's have a look at another one. It's got this upwards one. This is really cool actually, because I feel like this is very usable for like a breakdown and a build to create like a really mind-bending moment where it's really trippy. So check this out. You'll know exactly what I mean when I press hit one of the keys. So yeah, I really liked that one. Like, I don't know, I could just imagine using that in just a really trippy ambient like breakdown moment and a build. It'd be really cool. And there's a lot of movement and expression that you can do with that one. Let's have a look, see what else we've got. So let's have a look at a couple of lead sounds now. Clutch, pretty cool. I liked this one. So this is the one that I said could be a lead. Or you could go down to bass. And with this, you can open up the filter. And you can soften it if you bring the FM down. And you've got effects which are quite nice as well. And these effects are really nice because if you do like a snappy sound, turn them right up as well. You've got this kind of nice slap back delay with it, which I really like. And then this is really cool. So if you bring this modular one up here, yeah, I thought it was a really nice touch. That last macro there just adds another extra element to the sound. So don't be tempted when you get this to just flick through them and not play around with those macros. Maybe mini-map the macros so they're to hand, and then when you're flicking through the presets to check them out, you can play with them before you move on to the next one. If you just flick through, you're missing all of that goodness and that expression. I've found many times when looking through them, I just get lost in them and play around with them quite a while. So this next one, we've got Highway. Let's check this one out. it could add some really nice atmosphere. Even though it's a lead, it's just got this really nice atmospheric quality to it. That would sound really nice in a track, like a nice techno track or melodic techno track. Let's listen to some others. So if we go to pads, what did I pick out for pads? So I really liked the pads as well, as I do with all of the presets. They're all really good. So Dunes was really nice. Let me just switch this back on. Stop that a second because it tails off quite a long time, this one. Really nice kind of like afterlife quality to that, and a lot of rhythm to it as well. Let me just have another quick play around as well, because I didn't manage to play with these because I had two hands on the keyboard. Yeah, so you're able to change the quality, not the quality, sorry, the timbre, so you change the vibe of it basically by switching that up and down. I like that you get options like that in the sound as well, because you might land on it, you might be like, oh, I like that, but it's not quite fitting of what I'm already making. It doesn't fit in with the orchestration, whereas it could just be a couple of tweaks and it might really fit into a track. And what else have we got here? So we've got Oceans. This was another kind of similar pad. I really liked this one. Again, it's a really long sustained one, so when you take your hand off it, carries on, and you're able to kind of layer up chords. So again, quite similar to the one where you can change the spaciousness of the sound, make it even more ambient. You can add more rhythm to it as well, and you can also use the timbre to again change the sound and like shape it a little bit differently. I really like that. I mean, one patch for me could have like a lot of uses in different tracks because you're able to switch it up so easily using the macros. Let's see what else we've got. So we've done the pads now, and then let's just randomly go through a few rhythmic ones. So these, from what I've listened to, the kind of, for me, they'd be like elements that I would add to an orchestration. So maybe it's like a drum group to just add a bit more, something extra on top, like a percussive element that I'm able to modulate as well to add a bit more movement to a track. So let's just flick through a couple of these. So yeah, they're quite rhythmic, and you could just add these, like I said, to So like a drum group, like as a top layer, I feel like it could just add a bit more groove to a track. And we've got ones like this as well, like hats. So yeah, really cool stuff. And then let's move over to one of my favorites actually of the pack, which is the sequences. I really love these. These are just hours of fun. So a lot of them already sound like there should be tracks already. So let's have a listen to a few of these. Really like that. Let's have a listen to this one. A lot of movement in these as well. Let's listen to a few of us. Really like that one. That's proper cool. So I mean, like, these sound like they could just be, you could build a track around a lot of these. They're really, really good. Let's just do one or two more. Like, I'd love to go through all of them because I love them. I love just playing around with them and seeing what kind of, where you can take them and what kind of little sweet spots you can get to just by tweaking the macros in different combinations. Right, I better stop. I could just keep going on with that. I want to start like putting drums around it and stuff, but yeah, there's some really nice wonky sequences in there and really good starting points for tracks. I think there's a lot of inspiration in there. And again, with all presets, you don't have to just go with what what we've offered. You can use it as a really good starting point, a very good starting point, I think, and change things up. You know, like mess around with the different waveforms, change them up. You could go in and change some of the routings and things like that, and also the sequence as well. You could play around with different settings to get a different sequence out of it and kind of really make it your own. But these are just super like inspiring presets that are really easy to just slide into a production as well. I hope you've really enjoyed this walkthrough, and it's given you more of an idea of what the pack's about and what it can offer, and also what you're getting is like that extra kind of expansion for Serum as well. If you've got any questions about the pack or anything that I've done here, just put a question in the comment section below. If there's any tutorials you want us to cover in the future and things like that, just let us know them, and we'll do our very best to cater for it. Go and check out the pack on the website. Go and get it, use it, put it in your productions. My name's James Orvis. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll catch you next time.